So now after Kunti Maharani's prayer and still Yudhishthir not uh, being satisfied, or he was unhappy after killing so many people and being crowned as the king of Hastinapur, he was still lamenting, and that is where Krishna had plans of um, glorifying devotee Bhishmadev, and that is when he took he took Yudhishthir Maharaj and other devotees to Bhishmadev's place. So this is what we will be reading. So we will be dividing this topic into two parts because the number of verses and the discussion. So today we will try to close the first two sections, which is Bhishmadev welcomes everyone at his deathbed, and second is Bhishmadev pacifies and encourages Pandavas. So these two sections we will try to discuss today. Jay. Mamta Mataji, do you want to read this slide?
Yeah, Prabhu. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.9. Suta Goswami said, being afraid for having killed so many subjects on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Maharaj Yudhishthira went to the scene of the massacre. There, Bhishmadeva was lying on a bed of arrows, about to pass away. At that time, all his brothers followed him on beautiful chariot drawn by first-class horses decorated with gold ornaments. With them were Vyasa and rishis like Dhaumya, the learned priest of the Pandavas, and others, O sage, among us the Brahmanas. Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of God, had also followed, seated on a chariot, and Arjuna. Thus King Yudhishthira appeared very aristocratic, like Kuvera, surrendered by his compassion. The Guyakas, seeing him, Bhishma, lying on the ground like a demigod fallen from the sky, the Pandavas, King Yudhishthira, among with his brothers, younger brothers, and Lord Krishna, bowed down before him, just to see the chief of the descendants of King Bharata, Bhishma, all the great souls in the universe, namely the rishis, among us the demigods, brahmanas, and kings, all situated in the quality of goodness, were assembled there. All the sages like Parvata Muni, Narada, Dhaumya, Vyasa, and incarnations of God, Brahadaswa, Brahadvaja, and Parasurama, Parasurma, and disciples Vashishta, Indramada, Krita, Grasamada, Asita, Kakshivan, Gautama, Atri, Kaushika, and Sudarshana were present, and many other like Sukadev Goswami and other purified souls, Kashyapa and Angirasa and others, all accompanied by their respective disciples, arrived there. Bhishmadeva, who was the best among us, the 8 Vasus, received and welcomed all the great and powerful rishis who were assembled there for the knew perfectly all the religious principles according to time and place. Lord Sri Krishna is situated in everyone's heart, yet he manifests his transcendental form by his eternal potency. This very Lord was sitting before Bhishmadeva, and since Bhishmadeva knew of his glories, he worshipped him daily.
हरि बोल. थैंक यू माता जी. हरे कृष्णा. सो यहाँ पे हम लोग ने ये स्लाइड पे क्या दिखा है, क्या बताया कि युधिष्ठिर महाराज along with all his brothers, they went approach Bhishmadev, and Bhishmadev was actually waiting for them, and seeing them he was very happy because they were, I mean, since their childhood, after Pandu died, passed away, they were being brought up or being taken care by Bhishmadev. So जो grandfather love था, so it was very good, and he had been saying that these Pandavas are full of virtues, whereas this Kauravas always tried to fill in their life, inject their life with some pains. So he always saw that, but because of some political reasons, he couldn't intervene most of the time, or even during the war, he had to take sides of Yudhishthira because of these political reasons. So he knew this, but seeing Yudhishthir in such a form, he felt really good. तो यहाँ पे sixth and seventh verse में the names of the great sages have been mentioned over there, and Srila Prabhupada has taken the pain to give some information about these sages. So we will just have a look at those sages. What are those sages? I'm sharing the Veda base. Okay, so first one is the Parvata Muni. So who is Parvata Muni? He is considered to be one of the oldest sages. He's almost always a constant companion of Narada Muni. They are also spacemen competent to travel in air without the help of any material vehicle. So Narada Muni जैसे Parvata Muni भी he is able to travel anywhere. Parvata Muni is also Devarshi, or a great sage among the demigods like Narada. He was present along with Narada at the sacrificial ceremony of Maharaj Janmijay, the son of Parikshit Maharaj. और इस सेक्रीफाइस में क्या होता है आपको याद रहेगा, बिकॉज स्नेक किल्ड परीक्षित महाराज, उनके बेटे ने क्या किया, सारे एक यज्ञ बना के सारे सर्पों को उसमें मारने का ट्राई किया था. सो हाँ, इट इज मेंशन्ड इन दिस सेक्रीफाइस ऑल द स्नेक्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड वेर टू बी किल्ड. Parvata Muni and Narad Muni are also called Gandharvas also because they can travel in the air singing the glories of the Lord. Since they can travel in the air, they observed Draupadi's Swayamvara ceremony, selecting of her own husband from the air. Like Narad Muni, Parvata Muni also used to visit the royal assembly in the heaven of King Indra as a Gandharva. Sometimes he visited the royal assembly of Kuvera, one of the important demigod. Both Narada and Parvata were once in trouble with daughter of Maharaj Sanjaya. Maharaj Sanjaya got the benediction of his son by Parvata Muni. Then next is Narad Muni. Satish Prabhu, will you like to take Narad Muni?
हाँ प्रभु जी, श्योर. तो जो मैं मोबाइल से पढ़ रहा है, so let it will be difficult. Narad Muni is inevitable.
This is better.
No, it's okay, प्रभु जी.
आप म्यूट पे प्रभु.
हाँ, एक मिनट प्रभु जी.
Yeah, sure.
प्रभु जी, आई एम गेटिंग डिफिकल्ट. प्रभु जी, मैं थोड़ा लैपटॉप में लॉग इन करता है. नेक्स्ट
ठीक है चलेगा. ओके.
हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna. Pooja, do you want to take up this Narad Muni?
Yes. Narad Muni is inevitably associated with the narration of Puranas. He is described in Bhagavatam. In his previous life, he was the son of maidservant, but by good association with pure devotees, he became enlightened in devotional service, and in next life, he became a perfect man comparable with himself only. In the Mahabharata, his name is mentioned in many places. He is principal Devrishi, or the chief sage among the demigods. He is the son and disciple of Brahmaji, and from his disciplic succession in the line of Brahma has been spread. Okay. He initiated Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, and many celebrated devotees of the Lord. He initiated even Vyasdev, the author of Vedic literature, and from Vyasdev, Madhvacharya was initiated. And thus, Madhava Sampradaya, in which the Gaudiya Sampradaya is also included, has spread all over the universe. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu belonged to this Madhava Sampradaya. Therefore, Brahmaji, Naradji, Vyas, down to Madhava, Chaitanya, and Goswami all belong to the same line of disciplic succession. Naradji has instructed many kings from time immemorial. In the Bhagavatam, we can see that he instructed Prahlad Maharaj while he was in the womb of his mother, and he instructed Vasudeva, father of he instructed Vasudeva, father of Krishna, as well as Maharaj Yudhishthir.
Very well, thank you. So Narad Muni, we all know about him. He is the spiritual master of many great souls like Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, Vyasdev, etc. And he took initiation from, or is initiated, the knowledge is imparted to him from Brahmaji and from Narad Muni to Vyasdev, and from Vyasdev directly to Madhavacharya. Matlab Vyasdev Madhavacharya mein it is around 4,500 or 4,000 year ka difference. But Vyasdev, as we know, he is a Chiranjiva, and Madhavacharya, it is said that Madhavacharya met him in the Himalayas, and that is where he was initiated by Vyasdev directly. And then we follow the same sampradaya of Madhavacharya down to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada, and our Guru Maharas. Yep. So that is about Narad Muni. Domya, Satish Prabhu, are you back? Or else I can request Mamta Mataji.
Prabhuji, we have 5 minutes.
Okay. Just let me know, Prabhu, once you're done. Yeah. Mamta Mataji, can you take Domya?
Yeah, Prabhu. So Dhamya, a great sage who practiced severe penances at Utkochaka. Tirtha, and was appointed royal priest of the kings. He acted as the priest in many religious functions of the Pandavas, Sanskara, and also each of the Pandavas was attended by him at the betrothal of Draupadi. He was presented even during the exile of the Pandavas and used to advise them in circumstances when they were perplexed. He instructed them how to live incognito for 1 year, and his instructions were strictly followed by the Pandavas during that time. His name is mentioned also when the general funeral ceremony was performed after the Battle of Kurukshetra in the Anusana Parva of Mahabharata. He gave very elaborated religious instruction to Maharaj Yudhishthira. He was actually the right type of priest of the householder, for he could guide the Pandavas on the right path of religion. A priest is meant for guiding the householder progressively in the right path of ashrama dharma, or the occupational duty of the particular caste. There is practically no difference between the family priest and the spiritual master. The sages, saints, and brahmanas were specially meant for such functions.
Haribol, thank you, Mataji. Stomya was the family priest, you can say family priest of the Pandavas, or the royal priest of the Pandavas. And he was present even at during the marriage time and all the places. Or Prabhupada makes one interesting statement over here. बोलते कि जो family priest हम लोग बोलते हैं, so when a family priest guides the householder in the ashrama, that is grahastha ashram, and in the spiritual journey, then there is technically no difference between the family priest and the spiritual master. But unfortunately, Kali Yuga, it is very rarely we find that a family priest, he unfortunately ends up being just an astrologer. Patrika dekhte hai and then they tell ki kya karna hai, but they does not guide the householder according to their ashramas, or according they guide them as per their duties in the service to Lord. So unfortunately, abhi wo dikhne milta nahi zyada. It is very rare. But if that happens, then there is no difference between the family priest and the spiritual master. And that is what the priests are meant for. The saints are meant for. That is what Prabhupada calls her Haribol, Dhaumya. Then we have Badarayana, which is Vyasdev. Okay. Pooja, do you want to take? I'm not sure if Satish Prabhu is back.
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Okay. Pooja, can we next one you can take up? We can ask Satish Prabhu.
From Badrayana, am I right? From here, huh?
Yeah, Prabhu.
Badrayana Vyasdeva, he known as Krishna Dvapayana Satvati Suta Prarashaya Prashatmaja Bhadrayana Vedavyasa etc. He was the son of Mahamuni Prasara in the home of Satyavati
Parashar,
prior to
Parashar, Mahamuni Parashar.
Parashar, yeah, Mahamuni Parashar in the womb of Satyavati prior to her betrothal that Maharaj Sanatun, the father of the great general, grandfather of Bhishma Deva. He is a powerful incarnation of Narayana and his broadcast the Vedic wisdom of the world. As such, Vyasadeva is the offer respect before one chant the Vedic literatures, especially the Puranas. Sukdev Goswami was his son, and Rishi like Vaishampana were his disciple for different branches of the Vedas. He is the author of the great epic Mahabharata and the great transcendental literature Bhagavatam. The Brahma Sutra, the Vedanta Sutra, or Badrayana Sutra were compiled by him. Amongst sages, he is the most respected author by dint of severe penances. When he wanted to record the great epic Mahabharata for the welfare of all people in the age of Kali, he was feeling the necessity of a powerful writer who could take off his dictation. By the order of Brahmaji, Sri Ganeshji took up the charge of nothing down the dictation of the condition that Vyasdeva would not stop dictation for a moment. The Mahabharata was thus compiled by the joint endeavor of Vyasa and Ganesha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, you can continue reading the next para.
By the order of his mother Satyavati, who was later married to Maharaja Sanatun, and by the request of Bhishmadeva, Shantanu, and by the request of Bhishmadeva, the elder son of Maharaj Shantanu, by his first wife, the Gangas, he begot three brilliant sons whose names are Dhritarashtra, Pandu, and Vidura. The Mahabharata was compiled by Vyasdeva. After the battle of Kurukshetra and after the death of all the heroes of Mahabharata, it was first spoken in the royal assembly of Maharaj Janmejaya, the son of Maharaj Parikshit.
Very well. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Vyasdev, we all know about him, or we also know the pastime of Mahabharata kaise likha tha. So Ganeshji had the condition that Vyasdev should, that he will not stop writing. The Vyasdev should not stop dictating and he should continuously go on. But Vyasdev ko baki, because he was in the role of human being, so he had to carry out other activities also. So kaise kare? So then he put counter conditions saying that I will not stop, but whatever you write, you should understand and write. So that gave him some breather space to carry out his other needs of the body. So that was a wonderful pastime. And also we know about Shantanu, that is mother Satyavati. So when Parashar Muni and he was traveling in a boat, and Satyavati was the woman of was a fisher woman. So she was helping him cross the river, and that is when Parashar Muni understood that this is the right time for Lord to descend, and that is where he created fog and he united with her, and then Vyasdev was born. And it is said that it is believed that Vyasdev, it did not happen the usual process babies do. So when Vyasdev was born, he quickly grew up to be a big person, and then he started meditating on the Lord. So the way we hear about Shukdev Goswami, and we also know that he is actually seed-giving father for Dhritarashtra, Pandu, and Vidura. So I do not recollect the names. Pooja, you recollect the names, right? Ambika, and something, right?
Ambika and Ambalika.
Yeah. So they were their mothers, Dhritarashtra, Pandu, and Vidura, and their father was Vyasdev. Initially, I believe Bhishma Dev was approached, but because Bhishma Dev took that vow of brahmacharya, he recommended Vyasdev.
One more small thing. Amba was not here into this because she was the one who becomes Shikandi in her next birth. So Amba is like excluded. Vidura is the son of maid servant.
Yeah, right. The maid servant who respected Vyasdev,
Yes.
Yeah. So, and that is why she was blessed with Vidura. Yeah. And one of them closed the eyes, and the result was Dhritarashtra, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. And the other one was had I think. Do you recollect what was the third case? How Pandu was born, and how was the condition of Pandu?
Maybe she turns black. She's like she shrinks.
She
So
shrinks or something, and she said, "Okay, your son will also be very pale and weak." Yeah, right. And that was Pandu, yeah, who died early. Thanks. Can you take the next two? Bradashva and
Hare
Bharadwaj.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, Prabhu.
So the Ganesha was there also at that time.
Mahabharata.
Yeah, Mahabharata.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Prabhu. He only wrote Mahabharata.
Okay.
Some say that the tusk that which is broken of
Yeah, Ekadanta,
yeah,
we say like that.
Ekadanta, yeah. So somehow, in some yugas, probably the pastime in some kalpa, the pastime is basically it was being broken by Parshurama. But here it is said that he broke it to write. Some say that the broken one he used to write Mahabharata.
Yeah, yeah, I also heard like that similar.
Haribol, Prabhu. Yes, Puja.
Brahadasva, an ancient sage who used to meet Maharaj Yudhishthir now and then. First of all, he met Maharaj Yudhishthir at Kamyavana. This sage narrated the history of Maharaj Nala. This is another Bradasva. There is another Bradashva who is the son of Ishwaku dynasty. Mahabharata, Vana Parva, 209 to 9, 4 to 5 slokas.
Okay, so he's one of the great sages and who was also very much associated with Maharaj Yudhishthir. Yeah, please can you continue?
But Bharadwaja, Bharadwaja, Bharadwaja. He is one of the great seven. He's one of these seven great sages and was present at the time of birth ceremony of Arjuna. The powerful rishi sometimes took severe penances on the shore of the Ganges, and his ashrama is still celebrated at Prayag,
Prayag Dham.
It is learned that this rishi, while taking bath in Ganges, happened to meet Gratachi, one of the beautiful society girl of heaven, and thus he discharged semen, which was kept and preserved in the earthen pot, and from which Drona was born. So Dronacharya is the son of Bharadwaj Muni. Others say that Bharadwaj, the father of uh, Drona, is a different person from Maharshi Bharadwaj. He was a great devotee of Brahma. Once he approached Dronacharya and requested him to stop the battle of Kurukshetra. Thank you.
Thank you. So Bharadwaj is one of the Sapta Rishis, and there are two different opinions about him. One is he's a different. He's not the father of Dronacharya, and the other is where he is the father of Dronacharya. So we have two different opinions. So Prabhupada has mentioned both of them. Haribol. Parshuram. Yes, Mataji, can you please take this? Mamta Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu. Parshurama or Renuka Sutta. यही है ना प्रभु ऊपर
हाँ हाँ माताजी वही है.
He is the son of Maharishi Jamadagni and Srimati Renuka. Thus, he is also known as Renuka Sutta. He is one of the powerful incarnations of God, and he killed the Kshatriya community as a whole 21 times. With the blood of Kshatriyas, he pleased the souls of his forefathers. Later on, he underwent severe penances at the Mahendra Parvata. After taking the whole earth from the Kshatriyas, he gave it in charity to Kashyapa Muni. Parshurama instructed the Dhanur Veda on the science of fighting to Dronacharya because he happened to be a Brahmana. He was present during the coronation of Maharaja Yudhishthir, and he celebrated the function along with other great rishis. Parshurama is so old that he met both Ram and Krishna at different times. He fought with Rama, but he accepted Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. He also praised Arjuna when he saw him with Krishna. When Bhishma refused to marry Amba, who, want, who wanted him to become her husband, Amba met Parshurama and by her request only, he asked Bhishma Deva to accept her as his wife. Bhishma refused to obey his order, although he was one of the spiritual master of Bhishma Deva. Parshurama fought with Bhishma Deva when Bhishma neglected his warning. Both of them fought very severely, and at last Parshuram was pleased with Bhishma and gave him the benediction of becoming the greatest fighter in the world.
Hari Bol. So this was Parshurama or Parshuram. When we say 21 times, if we read Bhagavatam and even other scriptures like Ramayana, the way he fought was, it looks like an Hollywood movie. So there are these soldiers who are standing in front of him in millions with all the weapons, and Parshuram standing alone like a hero with an axe, and zap, in a second, like a lightning, fat 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 fat, he just this lightning bolt passes through all of them within a second. He reaches the other end of this troop of soldiers, and when we look back, all the soldiers are dead. The hands are being cut off, the heads are being cut off. It is a pool of blood. So it is like this Hollywood Avengers movie or something. So just 1 second, he passes through them, and then that is a dead pile of all the bodies, cut bodies and all, limbs and all. So this is how he fought. And even in Ramayana, it is mentioned when Rama was going back after he broke this Dhanusha, Shiv Dhanush, while he was going back, there was a huge storm. I mean, Parshuram did not just appear and he started shouting at him. When they were going back, there was a huge storm. The trees were, I mean, literally the coconut trees, it is said it was as good as touching the earth. So the storm was so severe, it was, and the people were all panicked, the soldiers and all of Lord Rama. And then from there, from those storm kind of cyclone thing, then Parshurama walks out. I mean, you can again imagine, he like a hero, proper typical hero. And then that is where then there was a discussion between them, and then he understands that Rama is none other than personality of Godhead, supreme personality of Godhead. So Parshurama, he was a great warrior, 27 times killing the bad Kshatriyas is not an easy task. And but such a powerful person was again defeated by Bhishma Dev. Defeated in the sense he couldn't win over it, but then Parshuram was very much pleased with Bhishma Dev, and he gave him the boon to be the one of the greatest warrior. And this is the Amba that Pooja was mentioning, that this Amba then went through severe penances, and then she became Shikhandi, and she became the cause of death for Bhishma Dev in her next life. Jai Hari Bol. Vasishta, Satish Prabhu.
Okay, Prajit. Vashishta, the great celebrated sage among the Brahmanas, well known as the Brahma Rishi Vashishta Deva. He is the prominent figure in both the Ramayana and Mahabharata periods. He celebrated the coronation ceremony of the personality of Godhead Sri Rama. He was present also on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He could approach all the higher and lower planets, and his name is also connected with the history of Hirakanyapashu. There was a great tension between him and Vishwamitra, who wanted his Kamadhenu wish fulfilling cow. Vashishta Muni refused to spare his Kamadhenu, and for his Vishwamitra killed his 100 sons. As a perfect Brahmana, he tolerated all the taunts of Vishwamitra. Once he tried to commit suicide on account of Vishwamitra torture, but all his attempts were unsuccessful. He jumped from a hill, but the stone on which he fell became a stack of cotton, and thus he was saved. He jumped into the ocean, but the waves washed him ashore. He jumped into the river, but the rivers also washed him ashore. Thus, all his suicide attempts were unsuccessful. He is also one of the 7 Rishi and husband of Arundhati, the famous star.
Hari Bol, Jai. So this is Vasishta Muni. We all have heard about him, Vasishta Muni. So he's from Hiranyakashipu's time, multiple yugas earlier, not only this yuga, the earlier yuga cycle. So and Vasishtha Muni and Vishwamitra, unki so they had like 36 kakada. So they wherever they were together, there was ought to be some kind of disturbance and probably कुछ नया pastime के लिए opportunity होता था. So it was well known in the time, and we have seen that he has the favor of Lord. He's one of the Saptarishis and he has the favor of Lord, so that even when he tried to kill himself, he was saved all the times. Hari bol.
प्रभु जी वशिष्ठ इज a position again और कुछ तो ये है ना प्रभु जी मतलब that some position, that's why Vishwamitra was trying to get that one by doing some penance and something like that, am I right?
I heard about Kamdenu Prabhu. I'm not sure about the position
नहीं
of
कामधेनु नहीं मतलब वो लोगों को विश्वामित्र को बोला था ना ऐसा कुछ आप if you do for 1,000 years then you will get that positions which Vashishta has, that's why he was having some jealousy.
yeah, that position in the sense Vasishtha Muni is the name of the personality. Position may be the powerful. I mean, how powerful Vasishtha Muni is, the kind of respect he owns in the society. Yes, that one. But Vasishtha is not like Indra. Indra is a position. So Indra मतलब एक
right
position.
right
तो इंद्र लेने वाले जो है राजा अलग अलग नाम रहते हैं. बाउंड्री.
not position, what I mean to say वो कुछ नाम रहता है
हाँ,
जो
उनका
उसको मिलता था
स्टेटस या स्टेटस.
स्टेटस हाँ
yes. So I'm not quite sure ये क्या स्टेटस था करके, but yes, I do recollect कि उनका jealousy था, and then plus this we had this Kamdenu का incident. So
yes
there are
yes
many incidents wherein they fight. There are a lot of disagreements between them. On and off होता रहता था. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hari bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, this what incident you are referring Srimad Bhagavatam के 9th canto में है ये, but मुझे ये नहीं पता कहाँ पे है, but पूरा उसका वर्णन है जो आप बोल रहे हो ना वशिष्ठ और विश्वामित्र के बारे में, वो एक
okay
9th canto में किसी chapter में है प्रभुजी.
okay Mataji, thanks Mataji.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
because there is some positions and name, that's why he was doing so many penances. So
Yes, Prabhuji.
finally lastly I think Vashishta Mitra is मतलब वो लोग ही उनको दे देता है.
Oh, Hari bol.
So something like that is there, I heard like that.
Sure.
Hari bol.
Hare Krishna.
Jai. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Puja. Hari bol. Then we have Indra Pramoda. So he is another celebrated rishi. Then we have Trita. Hare Krishna Rohit. Yeah, sorry Puja.
माता जी सॉरी प्रभु
Yes,
ये परशुराम यहाँ पे वही है ना जो इनकारनेशन है.
Yes,
Lord का
Mataji.
incarnation
He is the Shaktavesha avatar, empowered soul.
हाँ, तो अभी जैसे हम ऊपर देख रहे थे अभी when I was reading so he did not accept Ram avatar but he accepted Krishna avatar. Something like that came, no? तो वो तो खुद incarnation है, right? वो मतलब why he will refuse Rama and why he will accept Krishna?
So when he
समझ नहीं आया.
yeah, so when he says that
he himself is Lord.
Yeah. So जब बोलते हैं कि he rejected, it doesn't actually mean that does not accept Rama, but he understood Krishna as the origin of all the avatars. So he is the avatari, the source of all the incarnation. That is what it is mentioned. And secondly, he could understand Krishna that he is the supreme person Godhead. In case of Rama, he had to initially have some kind of test. तो शिव धनुष के बाद विष्णु धनुष भी दिया था, वो भी राम जी ने तोड़ा, तब जाके पता लगा कि हाँ ये ऐसा है करके. Then he understood कि हाँ he is one of the powerful incarnations of the Lord Rama. And Parshuram is a Shaktavesha Avtara. Shaktavesha Avtara means he is a soul who has been empowered. So all these are all for pastimes. So unko at the same time, while they know things, at the same time they also do not know few things. That is as per the desire of the Lord themselves. So they want to create that sweetness or that rasa in the pastime, and that is why they सामने वालों को बुला देते हैं, खुद बोलने का acting करते हैं, and they create all these pastimes.
प्रभु जी
कोई और एग्जांपल है शक्तवेश अवतार का प्रभु, जैसे परशुराम, और भी कोई ऐसा अवतार है?
बहुत सारे शक्तवेश. नारद मुनि is also Shaktavesha avatar.
अच्छा.
Where the souls, special souls are given superpowers.
Prabhuji, that position I think name is Brahma Rishi.
Brahma Rishi, Hari bol. Yes.
Yes. So then Vashishta came and gave him the same positions. You are indeed the Brahma Rishi.
Hari bol. Jai. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. Okay. Rohit, do you want to take up next? Trita.
Hare Krishna, Santosh.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, I will take it. Like from where I have to start?
Trita
Just a
Bhagwan.
moment.
Yeah, this one.
Just a moment, Santosh.
Okay, so we'll do one thing while Rohit come back. You are back?
Sorry,
Okay.
Santosh. Sorry, actually the maintenance guy was.
Acha.
Yeah. Now I can start. Hare Krishna. Trita, one of the three sons of Prajapati Gautama, he was the third son, and his other two brothers were known as Ekat and Divta.
Dvita.
All the brothers were great sages and strict followers of the principles of religion. By dint of severe penances, they were promoted to Brahmaloka, the planet where Brahmaji lives. Once Titra Muni fell into a well. He was an organizing worker of many sacrifices, and as one of the great sages, he also came to show respect to Vismaji at his deathbed. He was one of the seven sages in the Varunaloka. He hailed from the western countries of the world. As such, most probably he belonged to one Vedic culture.
Hari Bol. So he belonged to the European countries, and at that time the whole world was under the one Vedic culture. So European countries भी Vedic culture के अंडर ही था, and we have seen that, right? Rajas अश्वमेध यज्ञ करते थे. It showed that the whole Yudhishthir Maharaj and others, Lord Ram, they were all the king of the whole planet and not just Ayodhya or Hastinapur. So the king of the whole planet. And this is how they actually did it, which is very this is the Vedic way of actually showing your supremacy. Mughal rulers and all what we have seen, they are kind of barbaric. Alexander, तो उन्होंने क्या किया था, लोगों को मार के they showed a supremacy, which was not the way in our Vedic style. So Vedic style में क्या होता था, घोड़े को बेचते थे. अगर घोड़े को किसी ने पकड़ा नहीं तो which is perfectly fine, they would consider कि हाँ ठीक है, we are allies, you are supreme, it is okay, and there wouldn't be, मतलब ऐसा bossing नहीं होता था. So they would work as allies, whereas the control would stay with the main king like Yudhishthira or Lord Rama. लेकिन अगर कोई घोड़े को पकड़ता है, which means कि वो राजा is challenging कि नहीं, we will fight, and then the fight between them would happen, and then the winner would be declared. So जहाँ पे problem है वहीं पे fight होता था, but otherwise there wouldn't be any fight. So this was like the least bloodshed say supremacy declared, and that was the ideal way of doing it. So it was this is how our beautiful Vedic culture is, very systematic, no unnecessary bloodshed and all. So then Kamal Prabhu, would you take this one? Gritsa Mata.
Yes, bro. Gritsamada, one of the sages of the heavenly kingdom, he was a close friend of Indra, the king of heaven, and was as great as Brihaspati. He used to visit the royal assembly of Maharaj Yudhishthir, and he also visited the place where Bhishma Dev breathed his last. Sometimes he explained the glories of Lord Shiva before Maharaj Yudhishthir. He was the son of Vitahavya, and he resembled in features the body of Indra. Sometimes the enemies of Indra mistook him to be Indra and arrested him. He was a great scholar of Rigveda, and thus he was highly respected by Brahmana community. He lived a life of celibacy and was powerful in every aspect.
Hari Bol. Jay. So he was one of the heavenly sages. Jay. Pooja, can you take this? Ashita. Asita.
Asita, there was a king of the same name, but herein the Asita mentioned is Asita Devala Rishi, a great powerful sage of the time. He explained to his father 1,500, sorry, 1.5 million verses from the Mahabharata. He was one of the members in the snake sacrifices of Maharaj Janmeja. He was also present during the coronation ceremony of Maharaj Yudhishthira along with other rishis. He also gave Maharaj Yudhishthir instruction while he was on the Anjana hill. He was also one of the devotees of Lord Shiva.
Next one भी पढ़ लीजिए.
हाँ.
Kakshivan.
Kankshivan.
Kakshivan.
Kakshivan, one of the son of Gautama Muni and father of great sage Chanda Kaushak. He was one of the member of parliament of Maharaj Yudhishthir.
Hari bol. Thank you. Mamta Mataji, Atri Muni.
Yes, Prabhu. Atri Muni was the great Brahmana sage and was one of the mental sons of Brahmaji. Mental sons means, Prabhu?
मतलब खुद सिर्फ मनसा से बच्चा मतलब सोच के बच्चे को पैदा किया. दे डिड नॉट हैव द यूजुअल मतलब फीमेल जरूरत नहीं पड़ा. सो जस्ट थॉट अबाउट इट एंड बच्चा पैदा हुआ. नारद मुनि इज आल्सो मेंटल सन.
मुझे लगा मेंटल मींस कुछ ये जैसे मेंटली.
हाँ, मनसा बच्चा ये किया. सो ही थॉट अबाउट दिस पर्सन एंड द पर्सन वाज बोर्न. नारद मुनि इज आल्सो अ मेंटल सन. मानस पुत्र. यस.
अच्छा, ऐसा भी होता था.
Yeah.
Brahmaji is so powerful that simply by thinking of a son, he can have it. These sons are known as Manasa Putras. Out of 7 Manasa Putras of Brahmaji and out of the 7 great Brahmana sages, Atri was one. In this family, the great Prachetas were also born. Atri Muni had 2 Kshatriya sons who became king. King Arthama is one of them. He is counted as one of the 21 Prajapatis. His wife's name was Anusuya, and he helped Maharaj Parikshit in his great sacrifices. Kaushika. Okay.
Kaushika. Yeah, you can
Should
read
I go
Kaushika
ahead?
Mataji. Yeah, Kaushika, please.
Kaushika, one of the permanent Rishi members in the royal assembly of Maharaja Yudhishthira. He sometimes met Lord Krishna. There are several other sages of the same name.
Hari bol. Thank you, Mataji. Jai. So next is Sudarshana. So Sudarshan we know. So this will which is accepted a personality of Godhead, Vishnu or Krishna, as his personal weapon is the most powerful weapon, greater than the Brahmastra or any or similar other disastrous weapon. In some of the Vedic literature, is said that the Agni Dev, the fire god, presented the weapon to Lord Krishna, but factually this weapon is eternally carried by the Lord. हम लोग देखते हैं और इवन कुछ जगह पे बताया कि शिव जी ने भी उनको सुदर्शन चक्र दिया था, बट सुदर्शन चक्र इज इटर्नल. जैसे लक्ष्मी देवी इज इटर्नल, ऐसा कुछ टाइम नहीं था लक्ष्मी देवी पैदा नहीं हुई. शी हैज बीन इटर्नल कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ लॉर्ड विष्णु. लेकिन समुद्र मंथन के वक्त दैट वाज जस्ट ए व्हाट यू से निमित्त इनटू दिस मटेरियल वर्ल्ड और फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर युगा और फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर कल्पा, कुछ एक निमित्त के लिए लक्ष्मी देवी वहां से आई थी समुद्र मंथन से. सो सिमिलरली जैसे पार्वती देवी जैसे यहाँ से हिमालय से पैदा हुई थी, बट दिस इज ऑल लिमिटेड. दे आर ऑल इटर्नल. पवित्र पार्वती इज एन इटर्नल कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ लॉर्ड शिवा, बट दिस आर लाइक डिफरेंट पास्ट टाइम दैट डू हैपन. यहाँ पे जब अलग अलग कल्पा में कल्प भेद बोलते हैं, अलग कल्पा में अलग अलग स्टोरी से होते हैं, पास्ट टाइम से होते हैं, अलग अलग यूनिवर्सेस में अलग अलग होते हैं. सो सिमिलरली सुदर्शन चक्र इज एन इटर्नल वेपन बाय द लॉर्ड. इट इज नॉट कि किसी ने गिफ्ट दिया करके सुदर्शन चक्र वाज देयर. इट हैज ऑलवेज बीन देयर, बट कुछ पास्ट टाइम्स में किसी ने जाके ऐसे देने का एक निमित्त, दे वर जस्ट इन सम निमित्त इन दैट पास्ट टाइम. सो अग्निदेव presented this weapon to Krishna in the same way Rukmini was given by Maharaj Rukma to the Lord. Rukmini जैसे eternal है कृष्ण से. So there is no time the Rukmini separate from Krishna. But वहाँ पे एक ऐसा रुक्मा किंग था, उन्होंने रुक्मिणी को प्रेजेंट किया, फिर कृष्ण ने चुरा लिया रुक्मिणी को, भगा दिया. But she was already a consort of Krishna from time immemorial. The Lord accepts such presentations from his devotees, even though such presentations are eternally his property. There is an elaborate description of this weapon in the Adi Parva of Mahabharata. Lord Shri Krishna used this weapon to kill Shishupal, the rival of the Lord. He also killed Shalva by this weapon, and sometimes he wanted his friend Arjuna to use it to kill his enemies. Hari Bol. So this is Sudarshan Chakra. We'll go back to our slide. So यहाँ पे Bhishmadev was best among the 8 Vasus, received and welcomed all the great rishis who assembled over there, and who knew perfectly all religious principles. तो Prabhupada purport में क्या बोलते हैं 9th verse के, expert religionists know perfectly how to adjust religious principles in terms of time and place. All the great acharyas and the religious preachers or performers of the world executed their mission by adjustment of religious principles in terms of time and place. मतलब जो ये this power is given by given to Shaktavesha अवतारस और the acharyas. तो वहां पे क्या होता है, डिपेंडिंग ऑन टाइम प्लेस सिचुएशन कभी कभार थोड़ा सा एडजस्टमेंट किया जाता है. जैसे अभी 16 rounds is nowhere in the shastras. It is you have to chant the name of Krishna continuously 24/7 hours. लेकिन हम लोग ये कर पाते नहीं. So that is why one of the Shaktavesha Avataras, Prabhupada, is also sometimes referred as one of the Shaktavesha Avataras. So all the acharyas basically. So unhone he was expert enough to basically make this adjustment and give it back to the people कि ठीक है ऐसा करो, but you have to also engage yourself in devotional service. So that would kind of in Kali Yuga bring people up to that level. So there are different climates and situations in different part of the world, and if one has to discharge his duties to preach the message of the Lord, he must be an expert in adjusting things in terms of time and place. So this also explains Prophet Muhammad and Jesus Christ. So they kind of allowed eating meat and fish, because if you see the situation, the climate where Prophet Muhammad was preaching was desert area. वहाँ पे vegetation मिलना मुश्किल है, पानी मिलना मुश्किल है. तो वहाँ पे there is no other option but doing this. But then he also proposed अगर ऐसा करना है, then you have to say some mantras and all, which is basic the halal system. Then Jesus Christ as well, जब वहाँ पे scarcity था, वहाँ पे vegetation नहीं हुआ करता था, the place where he was, तो वहाँ पे भी there was water over there, and that is why you will see the reference he giving fish to the people to eat at that time. So time, place, situation, ये सब stuff, but that they did not advocate killing innocent animals or fish. अगर नहीं होता है, then this is the option, and that is even in our Vedas, mamsa. So if not available, if you do not have option for food, and if we are on a higher mission, then we are still allowed to kill the lower form of life. But that is only and only when required, and that is why Kshatriyas were hence allowed when they go on war. तो फॉरेस्ट में रहते, डेजर्ट एरिया में रहते थे, तो उनको कुछ खाने के लिए नहीं मिलता था. तो अगर फ्रूट्स वेजिटेशन नहीं मिलता, then this is what they do. So they used to kill deer and they used to eat meat, but only very rare situation, that is when they used to go on a war or something. It was not for that taste. मतलब घर पे बैठे हैं जहाँ पे फ्रूट सब है अवेलेबल, वेजिटेबल्स, तो वहां पे वो लोग मीट नहीं खाते थे. That was not how they purely were vegetarians. So they were expert enough to make the changes earlier. अभी तो उसका जरूरत पड़ता है. अभी एडजस्ट करके वेज पे आते हैं श्रावण के महीने में, दूसरे महीने में, बाकी टाइम तो नॉन वेज ही खाते हैं. सो दैट इज एन अनफॉर्चुनेट प्लेस, बट अनफॉर्चुनेट थिंग. बट दिस इज हाउ द एक्सपर्ट रिलीजियस प्रीचर्स वर. दे न्यू, because they were empowered by the Lord, they knew what, when to change and what change according to time, place and situation. And when they speak about when religious people were people who knew religious principles, we call them Mahajans. So we had 12 Mahajans. And who are those Mahajans? It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam 6:3-20-21. Brahma, Narad Muni, Shiva, the 4 Kumaras, Kapila, who was the son of Devati. There is one more Kapil, so that's why Kapila the son of Devati. Swayambhuva Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janak Maharaj, who was the father of Mother Sita, Bhishmadev, Bali Maharaj, Shukdev Goswami, and Yamraj. So these were the 12 Mahajans who knew the religious principles perfectly. So these are the 12 Mahajans. So we should, if we get opportunity, we should actually try to remember their names, 12 Mahajans. And Prabhupada also give one interesting point. So the Lord omnipotency is displayed by his simultaneous presence in every place. He is present always in his eternal abode Goloka Vrindavan, and still he manifests in everyone's heart and even in every invisible atom. So Prabhupada ने एक बार बोला था, right, कि Prabhupada asked scientist who was challenging the audience, you have atom, you have nucleus, you have right, the protons going around the nucleus. तो ये कैसे होता है? Continuously गोल 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 घूम रहा है. So who is giving them energy? And the scientists had no idea, and even today the scientists have no idea who is giving. I mean, because everything has to kinetic energy, जब हम लोग बोलते हैं, there has to be a source of energy, right? Energy खुद से produce नहीं करता. That is a law. It will pass from one form to other form. तो ऐसा होता है, तो then who is giving energy to these protons to rotate around the nucleus? Scientists still have no idea. And Prabhupada says this is Paramatma. So the Lord who is within every atom, within every heart, he is giving that energy. So when this manifests his eternal transcendent form in the material world, he does with his internal potency. तो योग माया के थ्रू अपने material form में, अपना transcendental form material world में वो exhibit करते हैं. Whatever past time happen is all under योग माया. There is no connection with Mahamaya, though we may look that he is in the part of this material world, और कुछ वो रो रहे, ये कर रहे, that is all under Yog Maya. There is Yog Mahamaya does not even stand near the shadow of the Lord. That is how it is. The external potency of the material energy has nothing to do with his eternal form. All these truths are known to Sri Bhishmadev, who worshipped him accordingly. And that is why in this verse he says that Bhishmadev knew all his glories. These are the glories that Bhishmadev knew about Lord Krishna. But unfortunately, because of political reasons, he couldn't actually speak or glorify Lord Krishna. But this is the second time when he actually glorified Lord Krishna. The first time was when Duryodhana, he approached Bhishmadev and he asked him ki, "Are ye cheez hai kaun karke? Who is Lord Krishna?" And Bhishmadev itne din se daba ke rakha tha unhone dil mein. He just spoke out his heart out. He spoke all the pastimes of Krishna, how छोटे बच्चे होते, कैसे उन्होंने राक्षसों को मारा, कैसे किया, क्या किया, different pastimes of Krishna. After a long time, he got an opportunity. He spoke to Duryodhana. But as we say, I mean, it is not only a speaker. Bhishma Dev जैसे बड़े इंसान ने, he spoke, but still it had no effect on Duryodhana. So it also has to be the listener who has to be in the right mood. तो सामने वाला कितना भी बड़ा हो, if is not in the right mood, it will not create any effect. Unless otherwise Krishna wants to create some exception. But in a normal scenario, this doesn't work. So Duryodhana pe kuch asar hua nahi, and he still continued the war with. He rejected the peace proposal from Krishna, and he continued the war. Anyways, so all these truths were known to Bhishmadev, who worshipped them accordingly. तो यहाँ पे along with the different sages, 8 verse में शुकदेव गोस्वामी के बारे में बताया हुआ है. And Prabhupada mentions about Shukdev Goswami, which is an interesting point, and other 2 rishis. So I think we will also go through it. It is really interesting, and you will find something interesting in this Shukdev, which most of us probably may not be aware of. So Shukdev Goswami or Brahma Rata is a famous and disciple of Vyasdev that we all know, right? And who taught him first Mahabharata. So Mahabharata was taught first to Shukdev Goswami, and then Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, other interesting thing that we did not know is Shukdev Goswami recited this 14 lakh verses of Mahabharata in the councils of Gandharva, Yaksha, Rakshasas. तो उन्होंने पहले महाभारत बताया था, narration पहले महाभारत को हुआ था, और उसके बाद then he spoke about Bhagavatam for the first time to परीक्षित महाराज. तो पहले क्या बताया था? महाभारत बताया था, और उसके बाद श्रीमद् भागवतम के लिए वो परीक्षित महाराज के पास आए थे. This is an interesting fact. And he thoroughly studied all the Vedic literature from his great father. He was completely purified soul by the dint of his extensive knowledge in the principle of religion. From Mahabharata Shabha Parva, it is understood that he was also present in the royal assembly of Maharaj Yudhishthir and at the fasting of Maharaj Parikshit. As a bona fide disciple of Sri Vyasdev, he inquired from his father very extensively about religious principles and spiritual values, and his great father also satisfied him by teaching the yoga system by which one can attain the spiritual kingdom, that is Bhakti Yoga, the difference between fruitive and the empiric knowledge. Gyan Yoga, Karma Yoga ke baare mein, the ways and the means of attaining spiritual realization. The 4 ashramas, the sublime position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the process of seeing him face to face, which is Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam mentions about the process, whole Bhagavatam, the process of how do we see Lord face to face. The bona fide candidate for receiving the knowledge, the consideration of the five elements, the unique position of the intelligence, the consciousness of the material nature, the living entity, the symptoms of the self-realized soul, the working principle of the material body, symptoms of the influential mode of knowledge, the tree of perpetual desires, and psychic activities. Sometimes he went to the sun planet with the permission of his father and Naradji. Descriptions of his travel in space are given in the Shanti Parva of Mahabharata. At last, he attained a transcendental realm. He is known by different names as Aranya, Arunashtita, Vyasaki, and Vyasatmaja, means son of Vyasa. So similarly, we have Kashyapa. Pooja, do you want to take Kashyapa?
Yes. Kashyapa, one of the Prajapati, is the son of Marichi and one of the son-in-law of Prajapati Daksham. He is the father of gigantic bird Garuda, who was given elephants and tortoise as eatables. He married 13 daughters of Prajapati Daksha, and their names are Aditi, Diti, Tanu, Kashta, Arishta, Surasa, Ila, Muni, Krodavasha, Tamra, Surabhi, Sharama, and Timi. He begot many children, both demigods and demons, by those wives. From his first wife, Aditi, all the 12 Adityas were born. One of them is Vamana, and the incarnation of Godhead. This great sage, Kashyapa, and was also present at the time of Arjuna's birth. He received a presentation of whole world from Parshurama, and later on he asked Parshurama to go out of the world. His other name is Arishtanemi. He lives on the northern side of the universe.
Hari bol.
Same with
Kashyap
Santani.
कौन सा वाला?
What about Parshurama? Like, what is this? Like pastime?
Sorry, pastime तो मुझे भी नहीं idea. So this is what it is all spread across. So I have no idea. We'll have to dig a little bit and see.
Okay.
Because Parshurama was killing 21 times, so he had been asked, but exact pastime I do not have in detail.
Okay.
Okay. So Kashyapa and Kashyap Gotra जो हम लोग बोलते हैं, so he is one of the Prajapatis and he is also known as the father of Garuda. Again, Garuda is eternal vehicle of the Lord, but यहाँ पे एक material world में एक निमित्त मात्र से इस तरह से हुआ था. Then we have Angirasa Muni. Kamal Prabhu, do you want to take Angirasa?
Yes, Prabhu. Angirasa. He is the son of Maharshi Angira and is known as Brahaspati, the priest of the demigods. It is said that Dronacharya was his partial incarnation. Shukracharya was the spiritual master of the demons, and Brahaspati challenged him. His son as Kacha, and he delivered the fire weapon first to Bharadwaja Muni. He begot 6 sons like the fire god by his wife Chandramasi, one of the reputed stars. He could travel in space, and therefore he could present himself even in the planets of Brahmaloka and Indraloka. He advised the king of heaven, Indra, about conquering the demons. Once he cursed Indra, who thus had to become a hog on the earth and was unwilling to return to heaven. Such is the power of the attraction of illusionary energy. Even a hog does not wish to part with its earthly possession in exchange for a heavenly kingdom. He was the religious preceptor of the natives of different planets.
Hari bol. So I think we know this pastime of Indra, right? He was cursed and then he took the form of a hog on this earth, and he was enjoying with his wife, again hogs and many small baby hogs, and he was eating in what hogs love to eat, but he enjoyed his life. And when he was asked back, he asked to come back and resume his service as the Lord of the heaven, King of the heavens. He denied it because he was enjoying his life as a hog. Then they had to, Brahmaji also had to intervene, and then they helped him realize his position, what he was actually, and then that is when he went back to his heavenly planets. So this is the illusion power of the Lord. Jai, very good. Um, Satish Prabhu, do you want to take this slide?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Srimad Bhagavatam 1.9. The son of Maharaj Pandu were sitting slightly nearby, overtaken with affection for their dying grandfather. Seeing this, Bhishma Deva congratulated them with feelings. There were tears of ecstasy in his eyes for he was overwhelmed by love and affection. 11. Bhishma Deva said, "Oh, what terrible suffering and what terrible injustice you good souls suffer for being the sons of religion personified. You did not deserve to remain alive under those tribulations, yet you were protected by the Brahmanas, God and religion 12. As far as my daughter-in-law Kunti is concerned, upon the great General Pandu's death, she became widows with many children, and therefore she suffered greatly. And when you were grown up, she suffered a great deal also because of your action. In my opinion, this is all due to the inevitable time under whose control everyone in every planet is carried. Just as the clouds are carried by the wind, oh, how wonderful is the influence of inevitable time. It is irreversible, otherwise, how can there be reverses in the presence of King Yudhishthira, the son of demigods controlling the religion? Bhima, the great fighter, which with a club, the great bowman Arjuna with his mighty weapons Gandiva, and above all the lords, the direct well wishers of the Pandavas. O king, no one can know the plan of the Lord Sri Krishna. Even the thought great philosopher inquiry exhaustively they are bewildered. O best among the descendants of Bharata Yudhishthira, I maintain therefore that all this is within the plan of Lord. Accepting the inconceivable plan of the Lord, you must follow it. You are now the appointed administrative head, and my Lord, you should now take care of those subjects who are now rendered helpless. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. Thank you, Prabhu. So हम लोग ने we spoke last in the previous slide, right? So you used Bhishma Dev because he had this grandfatherly attachment and he had seen that they did not deserve it, but they had to still go through sufferings. But after seeing after seeing Yudhishthir in his dressed as a king, coronated as a king, he had these tears of ecstasy. That is what he wanted. He desired to see Yudhishthira as the king of Hastinapur, and after seeing that, he was very, very much happy. So that there is a point that if you see on the 12th verse, it is said that yet you were protected by the Brahmanas, God, and the religion. So Maharaja Yudhishthir, I mean, he had been through this great massacre in the battle of Kurukshetra. So Bhishma Dev understood this. He knew that he could not tolerate. He was lamenting because of this, and therefore he spoke first of the terrible sufferings of Maharaja Yudhishthir. Initially, when you say what all had happened with his life and all, and the battle of Kurukshetra was fought just to counteract this injustice. So whatever injustice was happened to Yudhishthir Maharaj by some people, this battle of Kurukshetra was basically the act of karma, so that these people who actually did injustice to Yudhishthir Maharaj, they got their karma back. So therefore he should not regret for this killings. That is what Bhishma Dev is trying to tell Yudhishthir Maharaj. He wanted to point out particularly that they were always protected by the Brahmanas, the Lord, and the religious principles. So this is what we have to understand. Brahmanas, but because they maintain the religion and the Lord, these three together can protect the society. There is no one else who can actually protect the society as a whole. So as long as they are protected by these three important items, there is no cause of disappointment. Thus Bhishma Dev encouraged Maharaj Yudhishthira to dissipate his despondency. And later again, he again gives another reason, saying that this is about time. So there is uncontrollable, there is control by time all over the space within the universe, as there is control by time all over the planets. Means time is basically everything within the universe is controlled by time, including the space. So all big gigantic planets, including sun, are being controlled by the force of air, as the clouds are carried by the force of air. Similarly, the inevitable Kala or time controls even the actions of the air and other elements. So ultimate controller in this universe is, ultimate in the sense, ultimate is Krishna, but the Kala Rupi, the form of Krishna as Kala, is basically controlling everything. So everything is therefore controlled by the Supreme Kal, a forceful representative of the Lord within the material world. Thus, Yudhishthira should not be sorry about the inconceivable action of the time. So he should not lament. जो ज्ञान अर्जुन को दिया था ऑलमोस्ट सेम ज्ञान यहाँ पे दिया गया है, बट कृष्णा डिड नॉट वांट युधिष्ठिर टू अंडरस्टैंड इट while Krishna was explaining. So he wanted to glorify Bhishma Deva and hold these pastimes. So same things we'll see even in Bhagavad Gita. So everyone has to bear the actions and reaction of time, as long as one is within the condition of the material world. Yudhishthira should not think that he has committed sin in his previous birth and is suffering the consequences. Even the most pious has to suffer the condition of the material world. So basically what Bhishma Deva is saying, ki karma is very difficult to understand. We shouldn't try to understand karma, ki karma kaisa hai, kya hai karke. Because what I'm suffering right now, maybe because it is the act of my last life, past life, or it is because someone is creating new karma, bad karma by what you say, giving me pain. So he is creating a bad karma. So that can be anything. But we as devotees, we always have to understand that, I mean, for the sake of simplicity, we have to understand that whatever sufferings we get is because of our last karma, and it would have been even worse. It is because of the mercy of the Lord that he has kind of made it much sweeter than what it would have been early, it would have been originally. So this is the mood that devotees they have, and we should try to inculcate that mood within us. And that is what we will see over here, that he is saying that in 16th verse also, that no one knows the plan of Krishna. This is all the plan of Krishna. No one knows it. Bhishma wanted to impress upon Maharaj Yudhishthira that since time immemorial, no one, including Shiva and Brahma, could ascertain the real plan of the Lord. When Lord and Shiva and Brahma cannot ascertain, then how can we know what is the plan of the Lord? So what can we understand about this? It is useless also to inquire about it. हम लोग कभी कभी बोलते हैं ना, अरे इसके कर्म के, I mean, it is good, we should think for ourselves, but for others, we do not know what plan. We should preferably avoid talking about it, at least on a bigger platform, because we do not know what plan it is, what is the plan of the Lord. So Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma cannot understand. We are no match to them. Even the exhaustive philosophical inquiries of the sages cannot ascertain the plan of the Lord. The best policy is simply to abide by the order of the Lord without argument. जो भगवान बोलते हैं, मतलब which is Bhagavad Gita, the order of the Lord, just abide by it. The suffering of the Pandavas were never due to the past deeds. The Lord had to execute the plan of exhibiting the kingdom of virtue, and therefore his own devotees suffered temporarily in order to establish the conquest of virtue. In the last sloka, the 17th sloka also, Purport Prabhupada says that there is a saying that house जो सास रहती है अपने बहू को अपने बेटी के थ्रू सिखाती है. मतलब अभी ऐसे दिखाई देता नहीं, मुझे पता नहीं, आई डोंट नो टू कमेंट ऑन दैट, बट पहले कैसे हुआ करता था कि अगर नई लड़की घर पे आती है, इट टू मेक हर कंफर्टेबल, इट उनको डायरेक्टली वो लड़की को डांटना स्टार्ट कर दिया कुछ, शी मे नॉट बी कंफर्टेबल. सो व्हाट मदर इन लॉ यूज्ड टू डू, शी यूज्ड टू टेल हर डॉटर, अरे तुम ऐसा क्यों नहीं करती है, तुझे पता नहीं क्या ऐसा करना चाहिए, तो अपने बेटी को बोलती थी. सो डॉटर इन लॉ यूज्ड टू अंडरस्टैंड, ओ दिस इज फॉर मी व्हाट माय मदर इन लॉ ट्राइंग टू से, एंड आल्सो शी यूज्ड टू फील कंफर्टेबल कि सबके सामने मुझे डायरेक्टली बोला नहीं गया, एंड देन शी यूज्ड टू ट्राई टू इंप्लीमेंट व्हाट वाज सजेस्टेड. तो उस तरीके से हुआ करता था. सो सिमिलरली लॉर्ड आल्सो is trying to help the less intelligent men through his devotees. So devotees are like Lord's daughter in this case, in this analogy, and we are like the daughter-in-law. जो हम लोगों को कुछ पता नहीं, हम लोग नए इस घर में आए, we have no idea. So through the devotees, so कभी कभार डांट दिया, डॉटर को कुछ कर दिया, it is basically to help us understand what is that we need to know. So devotees का जो पेन रहता है, जो भी कुछ भी रहता है, it is only and only for people like us to understand it and to implement in your life. It is the Mahabharata, ये रामायण, ये जो सब होते हैं. So Lord plays different pastime, his devotees plays different role. It is only and only for us to understand it. It is not because of the past karma of Arjuna, Yudhishthira, that they had to go through suffering. No, it is some act that Krishna wants to display, and that is all. That is all. Krishna tries to help us understand through their example. So any questions, any queries, any suggestions? We will take a pause here and we'll continue on the next verses in the next Friday. Any questions? Any doubts? Any comments? Jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.